Hey, hello students. How's everything there? I hope everything is good. So guys, we have a wonderful story today. The story name is The 100 Dresses, and this story is divided into two parts, 100 Dresses Part 1 and The 100 Dresses Part 2, and it's really a very wonderful story to read. Let me give a brief about it and then we'll start our today's discussion. The lesson, The 100 Dresses, Part 1, is about a girl named Wanda Petronsky who claims to have 100 dresses. Yes, 100 dresses. That is why the name of the chapter is The 100 Dresses. Her classmates made fun of her because what she claims is in the contradiction to the fact that she was always seen wearing only and only one same dress. Her classmates found her name to be funny. It was because everyone had easier names than Wanda Petronsky. Her name was different because she was a Polish immigrant who had come to an American town with her family. So Wanda basically was a Polish girl who comes from the city Poland. She was poor and did not have many friends. She was quiet and was always seen sitting in the corner of the classroom. The truth about the 100 dresses unveiled came in open when she submitted all her 100 drawings in a drawing contest. They were the same 100 dresses the Wanda used to talk about. All of them were immensely beautiful. So students, before we start the 100 dresses, we have a warm-up section here, and this story is written by Albasor Esther. And the warm-up section, in this they are asking to us, how do we judge the people around us? What is the criteria? How we are judging other people? By their money, wealth and possessions, or is there something of more enduring value to look for in a person? So how we used to judge other people, how we are taking ideas about other people, that what kind of person he or she is, what kind of personality he or she has. How we are judging other people? By observing how much money they have, how much wealth they have. So why they are asking this kind of question from us? Let's find out while reading the story. This story is a sensitive account of how a poor young girl is judged by her classmates. Wanda Petronsky is a young Polish girl who goes to school with other American children in an American town. These other children see Wanda as different in many ways. Can you guess how they treat her? Read the information in the box below. Find out more about this community or about a related topic from an encyclopedia or the internet. So first of all, we have an intro about the Wanda and from where she is, basically from where she belongs, the Polish American girl, and why all the students were making fun of her, they were judging to her, and they were always and always teasing her in the class. Why? What was the reason behind all this, and why the Wanda's name was seeming funny to other American boys and girls? So, the Polish American community in the United States. Polish American community. The first Polish immigrants arrived in America in 1608. But the largest wave of Polish immigration occurred in the early 20th century when more than 1 million Poles migrated to the United States. The Polish state did not exist at that time, and the immigrants were identified according to their country of origin rather than to ethnicity. They were identified as Russian Poles, German Poles, and Austrian Poles. So what is this? The first Polish immigrants arrived in America in 1608. So why so many people came in America from the Polish states, from the Polish cities? Why the Polish people migrated to America? As per the history, they divide Polish Americans immigrants into three waves. The largest from 1870 to 1914, the second after World War II, and a third after Poland's independence in 1989. Most Polish Americans are descended from the first wave, when millions of Poles fled Polish districts of Germany, Russia, and Austria. Immigrants in all three waves, when they came to America, they were attracted by the high wages and the ample job opportunities for unskilled manual labor in the United States, and were driven to jobs in American mining, meat packing, construction, steel work, heavy industry, in many cases dominating these fields until the mid 20th century. Over 90% of Poles arrived and settled in communities with other Polish immigrants, and these communities called Polonia, and the largest such community historically was in Chicago, Illinois. Immigrants believed that America offered jobs and hopes that problem-ridden Poland did not offer. So with nationwide economic troubles, famines, and religious persecution back at home, immigrants fled to America with hopes of finding prosperity and acceptance. So here we have read that Wanda was a Polish girl, and Wanda belonged to Polish American communities, and it is the one of the most notable Polish American communities is in Chicago and its suburbs. So Chicago is sometimes called the second largest Polish city in the world, as so many Polish people are migrated there and now they are settled down. So next only in Warsaw, the capital of Poland. Polish Americans were sometimes discriminated against in the United States, as were the Irish, Italians and Jews. So many communities people are there, different communities people are now settled in America, like Irish people are there, Italian community people are there, and Jews are also there, as well as Polish. But these people are discriminated there as per their color, caste and religion. According to the US 2000 census, 6,67,414 Americans of age 5 years and older reported Polish as the language spoken at home, which is about 1.4% of the people who speak languages other than English, or 0.25% of the US population. So you can here understand very well that such a large number of Polish people are living there in America, and they are settled now there in that area and are enjoying their life, but still they are facing this discrimination as per the base on their color, caste, creed, religion. So this happened, and this same happened with this girl Wanda Petronsky. So now we are going to start our story. Today, Monday, Wanda Petronsky was not in her seat, but nobody, not even Peggy and Madeline, the girls who started all the fun, noticed her absence. Usually Wanda sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room 13. She sat in the corner of the room where the rough boys who did not make good marks sat, the corner of the room where there was most scuffling of feet and most roars of laughter when anything funny was said, and most mud and dirt on the floor. Wanda did not sit there because she was rough and noisy. On the contrary, she was very quiet and rarely said anything at all, and nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud. Sometimes she twisted her mouth into a crooked sort of smile, but that was all. Nobody knew exactly why Wanda sat in that seat, unless it was because she came all the way from Boggin Heights and her feet were usually caked with dry mud, but no one really thought much about Wanda Petronsky. Once she sat in the corner of the room. So this story is about a quiet and shy girl named Wanda Petronsky, who was a Polish immigrant who had come to America with her family and settled down there. She attended school with American students, American children, and they all found that Vanda's name was so strange, so funny, and it was the weirdest in the classroom. This is because they were thinking the pronunciation of Wanda Petronsky was quite tough, and she was always and always in one dress. She used to come in the school only and only in one dress, that one blue faded dress. So it was Monday, and Wanda was not on her seat. She was absent that day on Monday, and nobody noticed that Wanda was absent. She did not come to the school, and even her classmates Peggy and Madeline. So Peggy and Madeline were Vanda's classmates, and they used to make fun of her. They used to tease Vanda, and they both did not notice that day that Vanda was not on her seat. And when Peggy and Madeline did not notice that Vanda was not present in the school, and these were the girls who used to tease her all the time, and Vanda generally used to sit in the corner of the classroom where the not so academically brilliant and loud guys used to sit. It was the part of the classroom which was the dirtiest, but Vanda was not like those boys, but still she was always sitting in that corner of the room. Why so? She was silent to the accent. On the contrary, she was a very shy and she was a very silent girl. Nobody had ever seen her laugh. Her classroom number was 13. And why she used to sit at the corner of that room? Because she was all alone in the class. She was having no friends, and to avoid all the students who used to make fun of her, it was their habit to tease her. To avoid them, to neglect them, she used to sit at the corner of the room where the not so academically brilliant students they used to sit. And in the classroom nobody was interested in Vanda. Nobody was there to called as a friend. She was having no friends in the class, and only one thing was there in the class, that Vanda used to come from the Boggin Heights. She lived in the area named Boggin Heights, and her feet were usually caked with dry mud. It shows that from which area she used to come. The roads were not developed there, and she used to come into the school from the Boggin Heights, and it was a very far away area. She used to walk into the classroom, into the school by walking, and that is why her feet, her legs were covered with dry mud always. And but no one really thought much about Vanda Petronsky once she sat in the corner of the room. The time when they thought about Vanda was outside of the school hours, at noon time when they were coming back to school, or in the morning early before school began, when groups of 2 or 3 or even more would be talking and laughing on their way to the schoolyard. Then sometime they waited for Vanda to have fun with her. The next day, Tuesday, Vanda was not in school either, and nobody noticed her absence again. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, who sat down front with other children who got good marks and who did not track in a whole lot of mud, did notice that Vanda was not there. Peggy was the most popular girl in the school. She was pretty. She had many pretty clothes, and her hair was curly. Maddie was her closest friend. The reason Peggy and Maddie noticed Vanda's absence was because Vanda had made them late to school. They had waited and waited for Vanda to have some fun with her, and she just had not come. They often waited for Vanda Petronsky to have fun with her. Students in the classroom, nobody nobody was interested in Vanda, where she was, what she was doing there. And on the contrary, Peggy, Madeline, and other girls, two or three more, they used to wait for her after the school hours, just to tease her, just to make fun of her. So it was only before or after the school hours when group of kids of the Vanda's class, they used to wait for her, to mock her, that they thought of her. Some used to wait even at the cost of getting late for the school, but it was all enjoyable to them. The fact that Vanda was not present on Tuesday as well got unnoticed. Nobody noticed this thing. But it was the day, Wednesday, when Maddie and Peggy, they noticed her absence. It was also then when they waited before school to make fun of her. So why exactly they come to know that that Vanda was absent on Wednesday? Because when they waited before school to make fun of her, but instead ended up getting late because she did not show up, so they waited along for Vanda. Peggy was the most famous girl who wore good dresses and tidy clothes. She sat with the toppers of the class. No one ever got curious about why Vanda was no longer coming to school. All they cared was they could not make fun of her, and they were missing now Vanda, because they were thinking that where is Vanda, and they were just trying to tease her, just to trying to mock her, just trying to make fun of her. That is why just they were missing. It was not like that they were missing exactly Vanda, that where is Vanda, and nobody was worried about Vanda in the class. Vanda Petronsky. Most of the children in room 13 did not have names like that. They had names easy to say, like Thomas, Smith, Allen. There was one boy named Bounce, Willie Bounce, and people thought that was funny, but not funny in the same way that Petronsky was. Vanda did not have any friends. She came to school all alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that did not hang right. It was clean, but it looked like as though it had never been ironed properly. She did not have any friends, but a lot of girls talked to her. Sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard as she stood watching the little girls play hopscotch on the worn, hard ground. Vanda, Peggy would say in a most courteous manner, as though she were talking to Miss Mason. Vanda, she would say, giving one of her friends a nudge. Tell us, how many dresses did you say you had hanging up in your closet? 100, Vanda would say. 100? Exclaimed all the little girls incredulously. And the little ones would stop playing hopscotch and listen. Yeah, 100, all lined up, said Vanda. Then her thin lips drew together in silence. What are they like? All silk, I bet, said Peggy. Yeah, all silk, all colors. Velvet too? Yeah, velvet too. 100 dresses, Vanda would repeat stolidly, all lined up in my closet. Then they would let her go, and then before she would gone very far, they could not help bursting into shrieks and peals of laughter. 100 dresses. Obviously, the only dress Vanda had was the only one she wore every day. So why did she say that she had 100? What a story! How many shoes did you say you had? 60 pairs, all lined up in my closet. Cries of exaggerated politeness greeted this. All alike? Oh no, every pair is different, all colors, all lined up. Vanda Petronsky. She was a Pole who had immigrated to America. Her fellow classmates thought that Vanda Petronsky was a strange name. It was not normal. It was so funny. It was seeming so funny to all of them. And because they had simpler and easier American names, except a guy named Willie Bounce, which they thought that sounded funny, but still lesser than Petronsky. Vanda Petronsky, the name was seeming so funny to all of them. So, and they all used to make fun of her name. They found her name to be long and unfamiliar and not so easy to speak or to pronounce. This shows that those children did not understand the diversity, and whatever they did was done out of thoughtlessness. They were not giving it a thought that how they were teasing her every day and how Venda was feeling so hurt by their day-to-day activities. Venda was usually seen wearing a faded blue dress every day. She used to come in the school by wearing that same faded blue dress. Her dress was always clean. It used to look unironed. This shows that Venda belonged to a poor family who could not afford too many dresses. A lot of people talked to her, but she did not have any friends because all of them talked to her in order to make fun of her. So it was so weird that so many girls used to talk to Venda about how many dresses you have. They were asking so many questions from her, and why, and she was having not a single friend in the class. So it was so ironical that a lot of people, a lot of girls used to talk to her, but she did not have a single friend in the class. From her tale about 100 dresses to her unfamiliar name, they found it all amusing. Maggie and Paddy, they used to ask this same single question to her, that how many dresses you have, Venda? And Venda proudly always exclaiming or claiming that I have 100 dresses all lined up and all beautiful in my closet. So when she used to watch little girls play in the playground, they would come and ask from her about her dresses, and it was at that time that other students surrounded her to mock her and to tease her. With no intention of hurting her, Peggy used to ask the number of dresses Venda has in a very polite and respectful tone. They made fun of her because they could not understand why she made up that story about the 100 dresses, because everybody was familiar about this fact that Venda has only and only one single dress, that Venda has only one single blue faded one dress. They did all this while being ignorant of the fact that it could hurt her. No one would believe her when she said that she possessed 100 dresses all lined up in her closet beautifully and all different color. And as the other girls screamed in astonishment, the little girls would stop playing in order to see what was going on. And Venda would affirm their queries that she had 100 dresses in her closet, and there are dresses of velvet and silk too. Sadly, after she left, they all used to laugh at her, they all used to make fun of her. So students, here I am going to end up our today's discussion. It's a long. We will continue our reading in our next session, and we'll read about what happened to Venda, and we'll read about Peggy and Maddie. So students, till then, take care of yourself, devote more and more time towards your study.